It's unbelievable. And to me, it's my focus because I think deeply. I'm a critical thinker. And my first point is how, why. You know, first of all, why make that movie? Now we know what's his name, Jordan Peele, supposedly directed and written a screenplay. And you know, Jordan Peele is a funny dude. Everybody watches Key and Peele, and these dudes are hilarious and funny. You know, a lot of real black comedians have come out and talked against them, basically saying that they are handpicked. They're not really black. They don't really speak for the black community. They both got white wives and they got white friends and what have you. And you know, Dave Chappelle talked against them. Ari Spears talked against them. Even Russell Simmons talked against them. And a lot of people have come out against them, saying that these dudes are basically not really, you know, for the black community and for us. They are good at what they do, comedy, and they are funny at what they do, and you know, they can't even really play, you know, real black people comfortably. Even when they try to act like, you know, gangsters, it's like an act. They can't really portray, you know, the average, you know, black person in a black community. So, you know, a lot of people probably took the movie as, you know, it's just stuff that, you know, Key and Peele does with they sketch comedy, and they always talk about these type of issues, and they probably thought it was funny to put out a movie like this. And that was the little bit that got me to kind of watch the movie. I thought, well, maybe it's a funny side to it or something like that, because, you know, you didn't really get that from the preview. The preview made it look really serious, but then, you know, some parts was a little bit funny to me. The black dude, you know, would try to shake his hand and everything like that. And, you know, I thought there might be some funny parts in this movie or something, you know, different. But when you watch the movie, anybody that's conscious can clearly see what the movie is about. And, I mean, to me, it was so obvious and blatant. And it's like, why? How? How did he do this? How did he get this movie out with their approval? You know what I'm saying? So, obviously, they're trying to tell you something. You know, basically the whole town, if you haven't seen the movie, I'm not going to really go into too much details, but basically you have the whole town in on it. And you pay attention to those top leaders, you know, from the movie. You know, it's telling you that the people at the top that we all look up to, you know, so-called white people, we can say black people as well, are against you. Everybody in the town was in on it, but the people at the top was like, you know, actors, entertainers, or what have you, doctors and lawyers, famous, prominent people in on this whole thing. And the black dude, the lead character in the movie, you know, he had his suspicions about a lot of stuff, but he just kept going against, you know, what he already knew. And the movie is basically stands up for the conscious black man a little bit, because it's saying that, you know, conscious people understand what's going on with the system. And the movie is basically about, you know, the hidden part is basically about us falling for the system, us following the system, and the system, you know, basically trying to control our mind and lead us to our doom. And we are so trusting and so accepting of the system and accepting of white people that, you know, we basically falling for, you know, the bullshit. And it takes a conscious black person to help another black person out of the situation, which basically happens in the movie. And, you know, every time when you try to get conscious, the system is there to basically brainwash you and pull you back in, you know. And what a lot of people are going to take from that movie is don't trust white people. Don't trust no white people. Don't trust nothing. When it should be, don't trust this system. And I can see from a lot of the comments on Facebook about the movie, a lot of people was just like, you know, a lot of people who got the inside, you know, part of the movie, what the movie was really trying to speak to, was saying that, you know, we're too trusting of these white people, and, you know, they leading us to our doom and this and that. But then you had a lot of black people who really got it and was like, you know, putting all the pieces together. When you go back and look at all these movies that I talked about, and just the situation in America over the last 8 years, I mean, and then you have a movie like this called Get Out that comes out with the subliminal message, with the hidden, narrative that's basically saying, get out. And to anybody who think critically, you thinking, I mean, damn, what is it really saying? What is this? What is it talking about? And you can't help but put it with all the other movies and what we have been seeing in our reality. And then the fact that they keep pounding this whole racial divide, the whole racial situation. They're making TV shows about it. Orange is the New Black was one of the most popular shows on Netflix. That whole last season was about race. And they pounded the issue leading up to what? Trump being elected and this whole racial tension and everything like that. And they've been pounding it. They put this movie out, and the movie is popular. It has done well. It's doing well. And what is going on? And for black people who are falling for the trap is going to be separation. Don't trust no white people. Even though we constantly see white people sticking up for us, even back during the time with Dr. King, we keep seeing white people waking up, making videos and saying, this is what's going on, this is what's happening. You have people who, because in the movie, again, the narrative is basically saying that, white people know what's going on with us. They understand it. Because in the movie, you have basically the whole town in on it. So they're basically trying to say, well, white people know what's going on, but they sit by and allow it to happen to us. Even when you look at what Jane Elliott did, she did the whole experiment. She told white people, if you want to be treated like black people or people of color, raise your hand, or stand up, whatever she said. And nobody stood up or nobody raised their hand. And she said, well, that means you know what's happening to black people, yet you do nothing about it. And it's kind of what the movie was trying to convey. They know what's going on. They understand what's happening to us, but they do nothing. And as a black person, if you are not conscious enough, you're going to fall for the narrative. But being conscious also means being able to see the trap. And movies like this is going to use a lot of conscious people who have followers to give you that message, because, they're going to tell you, see, we can't mess with this white man. We can't do nothing with this white man. And my whole thing is, and I keep trying to tell people, I'm probably the only person or one of the few people who is actually talking about unity. And it's just something that black people just don't want to accept right now because of everything that's happened. But you have to understand why it's important. See, if we follow the narrative of separation, we lose. Y'all need to understand reality and pay attention to what's going on. We have a unique opportunity to basically strengthen our fight, to strengthen our cause. And we have been doing that for decades by getting everybody, not just black people, but other people of color, white people as well, to understand what's going on and what's taking place. And this is what I try to do with my message, what I talk about. Everybody need to look at what they're trying to do and what's going on. A lot of people see it. It's divide and conquer. It's separation. And by doing that, creating separation, they're able to use us to do what they're doing, and that's basically take over everything. So while we are here arguing about movies like this and arguing about the past and slavery or what have you, as I talked about, we can see that they are systematically taking over the world. And it's leading up to something. So that movie was weird because it's like, wow, what is that about? So, you just got to look at Trump and everything that's going on with this wall and everything that could possibly be happening. Is all leading up to something, and it's going to be up to us to either fall for that trap by following the narrative that they're putting out of separation, or to understand that it's a trap and not to follow what they're talking about, to pay closer attention to what's going on and how it's going to affect everybody, but it's going to affect black people even more so. We got to be smart. This is chess, not checkers, not Call of Duty. This is a very strategic game. And if you play it right, then you would be anybody that's in a position of who understands war, in a position of general, or in a position of leading people to victory. You understand the strategies, of war and how it's played out and how things have to be a certain way in order for you to win. wars are fought on scales. A war between you and 3 people, your strategy is going to be different versus, of course, one-on-one. So you have to understand a war of this magnitude and the position that they are in and trying to divide and conquer the world and control and take over the world, the strategies that they will have to use, and they are employing them. And when you understand war and what happens, divide and conquer is the only way. Hitler himself talked about this. Divide and conquer is the only way for you to really take over nations. And that's exactly what he did in Germany. He made these people believe, he convinced them that the Jews was the problem. And look at what happened. And it's the same thing that's going to be going on here. And we are basically walking into a trap. And a lot of your leaders and people who you look up to are leading you into the same thing. And I'm telling you that now. A lot of people have this whole narrative of that we can go on ahead and just unite as black people and win this entire thing just as black people. And I know we want to believe that, but I'm a realist and I understand war. And anybody who has read this book, because they obviously are going by this book and they understand war. This is The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And a lot of people, this is a deep book. I mean, it's basically what they're doing. And they understand what it takes to do to complete their agenda. And they're using white people and they're using us to do that with them making money in the process and doing very little work. We are basically doing all the hard work for them, and we will finish ourselves in the end if they fulfill their agenda. It will be us. We'll ask for our demise. We'll ask for our own destruction. And this is what it's leading up to. So everybody who is, we are so against Trump and everybody is protesting Trump. And it's exactly, obviously, what they want to happen. They want it to happen. What it's going to lead to, I do not know. What is going to happen, I do not know. But that narrative we are following, hate Trump. They gave it to us, we're following it. The whole narrative of racial separation, we're following it. You got a lot of black people saying, oh, fuck white people, I hate white people, fuck them. And a lot of black people are following it. Not the way that they want to yet. Not enough black people are not the way that they want to, which is why they keep pounding the issue. Because one, you're dealing with so many white people who are understanding and waking up and joining the fight, who can see the problem. And that's a big problem for them. But at the end of the day, the war is going to come down to, are we able to see the trap before we fall into it? And this is why, I talk about what I talk about and why I talk about unity and why I talk about we need to understand what's going on and stop following exactly what the enemy wants us to follow. And it's going to lead us, it's going to put us in a bad place. So I've been called so many names. I don't give a damn. People can call me coon or what have you, whatever they want to say. But when you pay attention and look at what they're doing, and understand that we're following what they want us to follow, it's a trap. And it's the popular thing is to just be like, black power and, all white people are racist and all this and that, and not understand the agenda and what it's really going to take for us to win. So I always speak on this because, we got to wake up, because I sense a plan to really, wipe out a lot of black people. And I seriously sense that, just by, Trump talking about sending the feds in and sending, the National Guards, whatever, into Chicago, if the violence gets too crazy. These people have the power to push whatever picture they want to. They can paint whatever picture they want. They can push whatever kind of image they want onto the American people. And it's very easy for them to do so with the control of the media. The only outlet we have is social media and having things like YouTube and Facebook to really put the truth out. But that doesn't always get to everybody. And a lot of people don't always accept it because by the time we're trying to fix the problem, a lot of people are already too mad and too upset. And that's what's going on, with me and my situation and me trying to talk about what I talk about. A lot of people are already upset. They're too mad. They don't want to be rational. They don't want to hear, anything else. They are too upset. And it's funny. You had Captain America: Civil War. If anybody who's seen that movie with Marvel, same thing. Divide and conquer. There was no bad guy in that movie. When you pay attention, there was no big boss that they had to fight. The dude just understood how to divide and conquer the team and what it would take to separate them, to get them to destroy each other. And you see what happened at the end, blew me away. But in watching the movie, it fits with the narrative of everything, of what's going on and what's happening. And, you had the team turn on each other. And you had at the end, Tony Stark didn't care that Bucky was brainwashed and, he wasn't really in control of himself. All he seen was this dude killing my mother and father. I don't give a shit about nothing else. He gotta die. Even though he is not the one in the wrong. Who did Tony Stark go after? He went after the person who wasn't in the wrong, because they have been used to carry out a plan. And it killed his mother and father. So he wanted to kill him instead of leaving and going on after the man and the people who brainwashed Bucky, who is really behind the death of his parents. He didn't do that. When the movie ended, he didn't do that. So pay attention to what movies are trying to tell you. And that's the reason why I bring it up. That movie was trying to tell you exactly what's going on today. We will go after the scapegoat. We will go after them. That's what we're doing. We're going after the white people, Joe Blow, Tom, Dave and Mickey, people who work in Home Depot, people who who you fucking talk to, who are not racist. We are turning on them and saying that they are racist when we know they're not. Because we don't give a shit. We are too upset about what's going on. We're too mad. We are being irrational. We are being controlled to do exactly what we are doing. And this is what we are seeing. So, again, you're going to hear people talk about, when you hear people talk about the movie Get Out. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this video, because a lot of people send me messages. Did you see the movie Get Out? Oh, no, white people, fuck this and that. We can't trust these motherfuckers. And da. Exactly how they want you to feel and exactly how angry they want you to be. If you haven't seen Captain America: Civil War, just watch that movie. I think it's on cable for free right now. Or if you got Netflix, watch the movie. It's basically, it's telling you what's going to happen. I mean, just all the names and the whole situation is us. I mean, you got Captain America there. So the whole government situation. And you got to pay attention. Remember, they tried to peg Tony Stark, with the black character. Because remember, Tony Stark was doing what he was doing because the black mom of a black African child who was killed, she basically made him feel some type of way. And he wanted to sign, the paperwork with the government because of this black kid. And remember that whole speech he gave, and he was upset. So they already pegged Tony Stark as the black man. This is all, the narrative they're trying to portray. So, again, at the end, when he's trying to kill Bucky and Captain America, think about it, Bucky, this is white people. This is all white terms. The white good guy. Understand the mental, imagery they're trying to project into your brain. So he's trying to kill these people, and they are completely not in the wrong. They are right. And you have to pay attention to how Hollywood gets across its message, and the message that is subliminally, always somewhere with that word, trying to be put into your head. And again, anybody who's seen Captain America: Civil War will understand what I'm talking about. And it goes hand in hand with all those movies I just mentioned. It goes hand in hand with Get Out and whatever other new movies and TV shows that they will be putting out. Pay attention. It's a trap. It's a setup. So my purpose of this video is to get people to just go back and look. And to, one, pay attention to the last 30 years of Africa, South America. Pay attention to what has been going on. Really go and look up what has been happening and everything that's been taking place. Because they give us a glimpse in the media for maybe 2 days. They might talk about something and that's it. is on to something else. And then again, you are consumed by life and reality, so you don't really check up on these things. It's not bothering you right now. But when you are an historian, when you're a person who does research, it's just stuff that just can't happen. You just got to look at it. You just can't help it to find these things out when you research in certain things and you go and look like, well, damn, all of Africa has basically been colonized, except for certain pockets. They everywhere. You're looking, most of the countries got constitutions now, presidents. Certain areas have kings and queens, but, this stuff is controlled. What the hell is a prime minister? What is that? Who is implementing this stuff into these African countries? Who is behind it? Who came in there and said to these so-called primitive African people, this is what you need to do? Here go Christianity. Here go Islam. Here go a constitution. Here go a president. Do things this way. Meanwhile, the people are not benefiting from the success, the wealth of the country. You have foreign people benefiting from it. And it's the same thing here in America. We're not benefiting from America. They have basically stripped America down so far to where we're not really producing nothing. And we're not making money as a country. And everything that's made is, we already know what's happening overseas somewhere in China or what have you. The country is not making no money to even, give the people or help the people. We generating so much money off of entertainment, off of corporations that's generating all this money. So since it's not the country generating all this money, you got these individual people generating all this money. The money is going to them. And they don't live here, a lot of them. The money is going to them, and it's stimulating their corporation and their company, and it's not going into, the communities. Now, we could take it on the smaller level and go to a lot of these white communities where you have the white people who own these companies and own these small businesses and are doing well. They can contribute to their economy. And we don't have that, we don't have that in the black community. We still need to grow it. But they're trying to create the same situation over in Africa and down in Latin America, to where you're going to have small groups of Europeans, white people, what have you, creating corporations and companies and sucking the life out of these countries and draining them of resources and money, and it's not going back into the people. And we're seeing it in Africa, we're seeing it here in America, and this is the plan. This is what's happening. So there is no, bullshit when we talk about white supremacy. There is no, we just talk and we just being racist. We're seeing it. It's everywhere. You're forgetting history. You're not paying attention to the rest of the world, because they can pull that veil over your eyes here in America and blind you with entertainment, sports, and what have you. And you're not paying attention to Africa. Of course, white people not, because they don't give a shit. And then now black people, we're not. We're starting to wake up more towards, but we ain't paying attention. We're not looking at the fact that these countries got presidents. And you got some people who are looking at it as a good thing. Oh, well, they're going over there helping the black people who was basically killing each other and who didn't have shit, who are starving to death. They came over there and installed a constitution to help the people. Bullshit. And, these people were okay. They were surviving for thousands of years. Africa went on. We have structures. We built civilizations way before any European civilization. This I have proven. I've proven this in previous videos. We had kings. We ruled. Things were fine. We traded with people around the world. This is all stuff that is proven. We didn't need European implementation of a constitution and the president and a whole government system that is anti-African and against the people. We didn't need that. This is what they put in place. And now we understand why. It's colonization, it's control, it's white supremacy. It is the complete takeover of lands of people of color and the domination of Europeans. So as you do your research and understand what's taking place, just understand this is a part of an agenda that includes what's happening here in America and includes what's going to be happening in other countries around the world. And this is a part of the agenda, a part of the plan of global domination of this whole new world order or what have you. And it's stuff that we can see and we can point to. So again, don't let people tell you that this stuff don't exist and that there's no such thing as colonization and fucking white supremacy or what have you. It exists. It's still here. And people need to understand it and know about it, black, white, or what have you. It exists. These people are still in business, and they're still operational, and they're still taking over shit and running shit. that belongs to us and belongs to other people of color. So, wanted to do this video. Want to thank everybody who supported the last DVD. A lot of people asking about the book, which I will be announcing a date any day. It should be coming out pretty soon. Another book as well that I've been working on. I also want to thank everybody who has been downloading the videos and been supporting what I've been doing and everything I've been putting out or what have you. It's a lot of information I've been putting out, and I know I go a lot deeper with the DVDs and what have you into a lot of the content that I put out. And I have series I'm still working on for YouTube or what have you. So I'm doing a lot and putting out a lot as much as I can before I go take these trips. I'm going to be doing a video on the Moors. I'm taking a trip to Spain in June to do that. And it's a lot of stuff I'm going to be putting out. So I just want to thank you guys for supporting, all these years and people that have been with me. You know who you are, since I started doing this and putting this information out there. And I'm really appreciative of people who support and people who send messages or what have you. And again, I try to get to all the questions and everything like that. It's a lot that's going on. It's a lot I'm associated with right now. It's a lot of new, not just business moves that I have embarked on, but just a lot of projects that I'm taking on. It's a lot of stuff I want to get out the way and get done. So things is going to be delayed, that it happens. I got a little team now that's helping me out, friends or what have you. So there's a lot more new stuff that's going to come up and a lot more things I'm going to be doing coming up in the future this year and next year. So it's going to be fun, good stuff. So thank you guys for taking the time to watch. And again, appreciate the support. See you guys next video.